The Lord is going to bring you back into Egypt again with ships. And he told us in the book of Deuteronomy all the curses that's going to befall us in the end times. So we're living in the end times now. And it happened to us as a people because we fell. Okay? And we went into slavery to Egypt. America has a dollar bill has a pyramid on it. It represents Egypt, house of bondage. We went to America, slave to slave ships and slave ships. That happened to us as a people. And then they stole our land, they stole our identity, and then they called us Suramenya. This is what happened to us. In the year 65 BC, before Christ, the Roman army, the Romans are the white people, okay? Under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. They captured, okay? In the year 17 AD, after the death of Christ, because who crucified Christ was the white people, okay? The white people put him on the cross, crucified him, but the Jews said, crucify him, but who really did it was the white people. Why? Because Jerusalem, it says here, in the year 65 BC, the Roman, the white people, under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. They had Jerusalem besieged. Like you have let's say like the Americans would come and just besiege Europe, but they would not kill you, but there would be military all around. You have to listen to what they say, okay? But you could keep your laws, you think, but you're gonna listen to what we say. You call that besiege. They besiege Jerusalem. You have soldiers all around. Well, back then they had white people all around Jerusalem, okay? And we was there, and we was besieged by the Romans, right? It says, in the year 17 AD, after the death of Christ, General Pompey and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. The white people say, you know something, fuck these Jews, let's kill all of them, right? And that's written in the book of Luke. When it says on the desolation, the abomination that make a desolation, when it comes, flee ye into the mountains, and that's what happened to us. The Romans came, destroyed Jerusalem, and we fled to West Africa. It says here. His son Titus put an end to a Jewish state with great slaughter, and this is spoken also in the book of Revelation, with great slaughter. During the period of the military governor of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave market were full of black Jewish slaves. You're descended from the slave, right? Okay, it says the slave market, and it goes to the Bible here, and the law shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, Africa, even unto the other, to America. Okay, it says the slave market were full of black Jewish slaves. Black Jewish slaves. They are not white. The real Jews are black.
Not the first time I hear this.
You understand? We are the real Israelites, and you have been destroyed. You're so destroyed. You're a king. We are the rulers of the world. We have spirit. We're going to receive spiritual power when the Lord comes back. We're going to be able to fly. We're going to have as much women as we want. Okay? Over thousands of 2,000, how much you want. We're going to be royal again. We're going to have all these nations in slavery again, because you're being destroyed mentally. You're walking around as a slave. That's why you got Sophie number, because that means you're a slave to the white man. Okay, that is your slave number. Okay, we're being destroyed as a people. This is the last captivity we are in. Okay, this last captivity is the so-called white man captivity. We've been through the Babylonian captivity, through the Assyrian captivity, to the Medo-Persian captivity. Okay, we've been through several captivity. Okay, and then it was prophesied here in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and it prophesies here that how the Lord was going to bring us into Egypt again with ships, because we said, and this was Moses telling us here. It says, and this is the commandment here, right? This is what Moses was telling us. One of them is, he says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, right? It says, Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Since when there was ever a slave trade from Israel to Egypt? Never since, right? Because they're stick together. It is not talking about that Egypt. Okay, it's talking about America. Now, in order for me to go there, let me go to Revelation 11 and 6 to break it down for you, so you could understand it. Revelation 11. Okay, look at 11 and 8, right? And it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that great city, which is spiritually spiritual this time. The place that we're going to be in slavery is actually spiritually called, because America was on the dollar bill, the eagle. The eagle symbolized Christopher Columbus and the King of Conquerors. They conquered the Latin tribes. Okay, those are the 10 tribes of Israel. Okay, this is from here. They were already there. Okay, then when Christ came on the scene, there was only Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in Jerusalem. The 10th tribe was already taken captivity by the Assyrians, but we escaped from them. We took Solomon's fleet, Solomon boat, and we escaped through the back of the Euphrates, and that's how the Arawaks and the Taínos arrived to the Americas. Okay, but that was in the year 724 BC. Okay, that's when Christ came. There was only Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in Jerusalem. The rest of the tribe was already gone. Okay, So now, it says there, and their dead bodies, how is dead? Because you're mentally dead. You're walking around, you do not know who you be. You're the king of the earth. You're going to be ruled. The white people are, according to the Bible, they're the Edomites. They're the devil, the serpent. There's no such thing as hell under the earth. Hell is here, earth play out. This is heaven and earth at the same time. I mean, not the spiritual one with the Father of God, but here's the place of judgment, you understand? There's no such thing as hell of sort of red horned man. The devil is a so-called white man. He's the devil of the Lord set up, but he hides himself through history. He makes himself as he's white Jesus, God is white. You understand? He paints all the angels white, but in reality, God is a black man. Jesus Christ is a black man, Yahweh Shah, okay, with a big afro and big woolly beard, right, with red eye to drink wine. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that great city. And their dead body, because they're walking around in the streets, you're walking around of that great city. It's a great city, which is spiritually called Sodom. Why Sodom? Because they're allowed to homosexual to marry. They're allowed to lesbian to marry. They're doing bestiality, which is spiritually called Sodom, because they like to sodomize when you sodomize somebody in the ass, right? Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. How they were crucifying him? Because by the destruction of his image. They know that he's a black man. The Bible says in Revelation 1:1 that he's a black man, but they paint him as a white man. Okay? Where also he was crucified, you understand? Because they say, no, Christ is a white man, but in reality he's a black man. Because they want to paint. That's why in the book of Ezra says that the heathens, they paint the likeness of their images. You understand? They decided to paint whatever they decide, but they're not going according to the Bible. And it says here, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So how do we get to America? By ships. And what's in the dollar bill? It's a pyramid. What's in America and all over Europe? It's an obelisk. You know what's an obelisk?
Yeah.
It's like a dick, a big standing dick. An obelisk. They have one in America in the Washington. Yeah, you understand that? That represents Egypt. So those things go back to Egypt. You understand? That spiritually is called Egypt. And it says there, the ships. By the way thereof, I said, and the Lord shall bring thee into ships again with ships. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way thereof, I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. By the way the Lord speak unto you, you will not see Jerusalem again. Because when you run into West Africa, you do not get to see Jerusalem. Up to now, you get to see Jerusalem again. You understand? You shall see it no more again. Right? But we're going to see it only when the Lord comes back. When you see them so-called big chariot, them so-called UFOs you see all over the world, those are the angels of the Lord. There's a big black man inside. And the white man being the devil, he make it look like a little green man. You understand? But in reality, those are the angels of the Lord. They are big black man with big afro and big woolly hair. Like you, big afro and big woolly hair, but more strong. You understand? Yeah. And they're going to come to redeem us. You ever see the movies Independence Day? With Will Smith?
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to come to redeem us, but not all our people is going to be redeemed. Only 144,000 and 1/3. You take them one slice of pizza, one whole pizza or a ball, and you slice it in 3 slices, right? You take 2 slices and you destroy it, and you leave 1 slice. That's how much of these people are going to be saved, 1 slice, because our people are so comfortable in the society, selling drugs, shooting each other, committing adultery, being a homosexual and lesbians, right? Driving around with a car, smoking weed, smoking cigarette, things that they're not supposed to be doing. So when the Lord comes back, the Lord says, he who destroys the temple, he shall the Lord destroy. Okay? We're living at the end time. This is what's going around through the whole four corners. This is the real gospel that's supposed to go through the 4 corners of the earth. We're all over the earth right now, okay? This is Hebrew Israelites Global. Okay? We're in England, we're in Trinidad, we're in Jamaica, we're all over in Amsterdam right now, we're in America all over, you understand? We're in Germany. We're in several places over the world, okay? Bringing out the real truth that stands before we live. The Bible was translated from 1611 when we went into slavery. Up till now it's 440 years now. I think something to that effect, you understand? We already passed our slave time, so it's time now. The Lord after 3 days and a half, the Lord's gonna redeem us after 2,000 years passed already. And now we're in the 3,000 years. We already clocking to go to the 3,000 years, but in this time is when the Lord's going to redeem us. We're not going to be here more than less than. It's going to happen so fast. As soon as Russia and America goes to war, we're out of here. Okay? As soon as Russia and America go, according to the Bible, it's prophesied that Russia and America is going to go to war. Russia is known as Gog and Magog. Okay? And it's prophesied that the Lord is going to cause Russia to shoot missiles in America when America tries to interfere in Russia's, business, after business, I don't got the right word, Russia's business, but he has business with different countries, and when you go and you message with Russia's going to come in, and then once they interlock, Russia's going to shoot missiles on America's going to be totally destroyed, but before the missiles reach, all the charge is going to cover the whole earth, right? And it's going to be beaming the 144,000, which is 12,000 after each tribe, right? For the children of Israel, and then the 1/3, their family members and so on. You understand? So it's very important that you wake up to who you really are, because we're living at the end times, and you really need to come out of the illusion of the earth, because you've been deceived as a people. You understand? But the spiritual is the Lord that put the spirit on you to come. You understand? And see the truth. Right? Let me just finish up this one here. It says here, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there thou shalt be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And there thou shalt be sold, because we have enemies. And there thou shalt be sold unto your enemies. This is our enemy, the white man. You see the children with the woman and the child? There thou shalt be sold. When we reached America, they sold us on auction blocks. So one nigga, two nigga, sold. They said that, but before this happened, the Latin tribes got sold also into slavery before this happened. Slavery didn't just started by the Judah Benjamin Levi, by the black man. They started by the native, which actually they were also black people. But because the white man came and robbed and stole, and now they're more clear skin and stuff like that, right? But the real natives are actually black people. All the Latinos and sort of the Mexicans were black, all of them. But you could see, we have all the mixture now, right? So that thou shalt be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Which means nobody is going to save us in time. No Malcolm X, no Martin Luther King, no Black Panther. None of those things going to save us. The only one that's going to save us is the one called Jesus Christ. Again, Yahweh Shai is his name in the Hebrew. Because you have to know the name. See, we were sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right? We were sold unto our enemies. You see the Africans? The Africans sold us also to the white man. But we're not Africans. The Africans, they're our enemies as well. They're Hamites. Okay? They're not our people. Okay? The Africans captured us and brought us, shackled us up, and brought us to the white man, and they traded us for wine and different stuff, and guns, right? And the white man loaded us on the boat. And the Muslims, they were building the boat. But before this even happened, the Muslims already had us in slavery, the Sub-Saharan slave trade. They was already enslaving us, they was castrating us, they would cut off our dick and make us go out of our own women. So we don't have sex with them. You see all the wickedness our Arabs do? All the nations hate us as a people. That's why they don't want you to know who you be. Okay? All the nations are against us. Okay? All the nations are against us. That's why it says here in the book of Ezekiel 83, let's see the Psalms 83. It says, I will show you all the enemies, because we have enemies, right? The one you call Jesus Christ did not came for the whole earth. That's a lie. When you say John 3:16, but when you go to John 17 and 9, it said he clarifies what he meant to say, for God to love the world. When he says, I have not sent the word he's talking about, that he said in John 17 and 9, he's talking about these people. He only came for the Israelites. He did not come for everybody. Okay? And that's a big deception. I mean, that's why the other nation, they put out that white Jesus and said that Christ loved everybody. And Christ said he doesn't love everybody. Christ even condemned the white woman by the well and said, look, you worship, you do not know what you worship. We know why we worship, because salvation is of the Jews. Christ, Yahweh Shai, after his own mouth, red letter, he says, you do not know what you're worshiping, woman. We Jews, we know what we worship, because salvation, this is Christ saying, I thought he said he come for everybody. He said salvation is for the Jews, for the Israelites. And that's who he come to die for. Okay? So it says here, Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O Lord, O power. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O power. For lo, thy enemies, the other nations, make a turmoil, a confusion. Turmoil means confusion. Right? The enemies make a turmoil. And they that hate thee has lifted up their head. Right? Because now the other nations, they hate us, but now they're walking around, because now they're of us, they got us in slavery. They got us nobody, they keep us giving us boot and debts, and if you do something, you go to jail. You understand? And they that hate thee has lived, now they're walking, the white man walking around proud with a gun, and he said, if we do anything, he could shoot you. You understand? So it says, and they that hate thee has lifted up their head. Even the Muslims now, they look at us like we nobody. You understand? The white man, the Chinese man look at us like we nobody. But we the kings of this earth. We the rulers. The Lord, we sin against the Lord, so we were brought low. The Lord caused us to be brought lowest condition. The Lord said, I will take a people which are no people, and I will put them over you, because we have sinned against them. The Lord took the white man, which was nobody, but we had the white people in slavery back then, during the time of King David and King Solomon. We had them in shackles and chains. So we had them living in the caves, in the rocks, in Georgia, Russia, in Mount Seir. We used to cry after them as a thief. Every time we see one, we used to chase them, we used to kill them, burn them, The reason why they're killing the Americans and they're shooting up Judah, the child of Judah in America, because Judah